Good afternoon all. Welcome to Organisational Transformation Corporate Delivery Committee. Any apologies for absence, please?
Apologies received from Councillors Francesca O'Brien and Leslie Walton.
Any disclosures of personal or prejudicial interests, please?
Yes, Chair. I don't know, I think I should declare this, but because I see that there's a lot of discussions on the Future Generations Act. So I am staff of the Office of the Future Generations Commissioner.
Thank you. Councillor Hale, Joe?
Yeah, could I declare unison as we do deal with workforce matters?
Thank you. Any more disclosures of personal or prejudicial, please? Right, thank you. Next item, minutes as of 28th of June, sorry. Page 1 and page 2. Any matters arising? Anna? Councillor Lawson?
Hi,
Yeah, hi there.
Can I also declare a union membership for Unite Community membership?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to the minutes. Any matters arising from the 28th of June, please? Can we have a mover, please?
Yeah, happy to move the minutes, Chair.
Thank you, Matthew. And a seconder, please. Terry. Thank you. Then we'll move on to the work programme for 22-23, which is obviously why we're here today. So we've had a list. I've had a list. So the items for the work plan, which we'll discuss or add to the work plan today, are rewards and recognition, which could be something as simple as a colleague recognition, but we'll develop the policy as we progress. Councillor Hopkins is here today. I don't know whether you want to add.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. What I would say is the leader's been keen for some time to look at some type of policy for recognition of staff, and particularly seeing what we can do, particularly to say thank you for people's efforts, particularly during COVID. I think everybody have stepped up and gone over and above in majority of areas within the council. So I know the leader is keen to do something along the lines of trying to reward. I have mentioned this at several trade union meetings. I know the unions are looking at something, and I think we'd be right and proper if we did try to table something at this forum to take us forward on that as well. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Hopkins. We won't open this for discussion today. We'll add it to the work plan and we'll progress the policy as we develop the policy, okay? But I think it's quite an exciting one. And obviously the will is there. And the second item then is, oh, Joe, sorry, Joe, I missed you. Councillor Hale?
Yeah, cheers. Just on what the cabinet member said, could we have some sort of indication about what they're thinking? As in, he said he's had some conversation with trade union colleagues. Is it purely going to be financial, or I'm trying to think what else they would really want? Is there something to throw into the hat so we could be given some sort of idea what's being thought of?
Yeah, well, look, what I don't want to do is do the work of the committee if we can, but what I would suggest, it could look at things like rewards or perhaps discount at some of our own venues, So you could also include something like probably holidays or even the reward scheme to see if we can get discounts somewhere else, because I know that lots of front shops at one time within the city did have this scheme running where our employees could get some discount. I know the police got a blue light card and they get regularly discount when they shop in certain retailers, and even online in some instances. Well, just wondering, lots of options, Joe, so you can't say that we could pursue, and I'm just looking to see technically this forum would be an ideal venue to look at that and take something back to the trade unions, or work in union with the trade union and other members of our staff, because I think it is only right and proper we do try to use that word thank you sometimes. Matt does, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, just a word of warning. The Welsh Ambulance Trust gave everybody a medal, which I don't think went down very well with paramedics and frontline staff. They felt it was a bit condescending, but there you go. That's maybe they didn't do the sort of consultation with their staff that they should have done. But thanks for that. Thanks very much.
Councillor Hale, just to say, obviously not to do the work of the committee, but there are loads of recognition schemes, that are not of monetary value, but just a card, colleague to colleague, means a lot, and everything means something to someone. So there are loads of schemes, that maybe we could touch upon. But I hear what you're saying about the ambulance service. But one thing I will say, recognition of long service, whether it be 10-year, 20-year, 25-year, a badge and a little thank you, whatever it might be, a little voucher, and that's where we could be, Joe.
Could we get back to having a very expensive gold watch if you don't?
No, Joe,
25 years.
Hi, thanks, Joe. Any other contributions? Terry?
When I was first elected, I remember, I don't know which leader it was at the time, actually said our biggest asset and best asset is our staff. And yet I don't really see much happening, for them. As for incentives, is a garage in Brynavrid, Panda Motors, they do special things. If you key workers and everything else, discounts on new cars and everything else. But yeah, whatever we can come up with, I'm sure it'll be deserved. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Einigan. Any more contributions? No. Right, we'll add that one to the work plan, please. And then we've got agile working post-COVID. Obviously, this policy developed, but it needs to be not so much reviewed, but we need to keep ahead of it, because there's loads of good practice and possibly bad practice. So the policy is in place, or a policy is in place, but it needs to go on this agenda, this work plan. So I don't know whether anybody wants to basically contribute, or we just add it to the work plan and progress policy as we develop. Yeah. Next item then is customer contact strategy. And once again, there's policy out there. It's a moving feast. And I really think it needs to be and we need, well, not so much to review, but to enhance the policy. So that needs to sit here as well. Any contributions, or just add it to the work plan? Thank you. And then we've got recruitment and retention, which comes under. Oh, Sarah. Hiya, Sarah. Sorry, I missed you. Hiya, welcome.
Thank you. No, sorry, I couldn't get my hand up quick enough. Sorry. Yeah, it was just on the customer contact strategy, if it's helpful, Chair. Obviously, we've got the new initiative around the community hubs as well. And so I think when we're looking at the customer contact strategy, we can look at that split between the new community hubs and how we're then covering all contact as well with telephone support around digital, because obviously a lot of the contact centres are supporting people who need help with the digital channels as well. It's that wraparound support, and then the community hubs, which are face to face. So when we're looking at that whole strategy, we can look at how all that knits together, if that's helpful.
Sorry, kept my mic on. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And it's lovely to see you. Long time no see. Councillor Jones, Matthew?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I think, yeah, echoing what Sarah just said, but there, to be honest, I think the drive is obviously to go digital, but I think it's really important from a resident's point of view that they've got access whatever way they decide to try and contact us. You know, I got a number of residents saying how difficult it has been during the pandemic with civic centres closed to get through via via the old-fashioned way, then the phone. You know, and I think, you know, we can never forget that to some residents, that's the only way of them contacting us. So I think it's really important. Yes, we go digital, and there's so many wonderful ways we can report stuff and all that online. But let's not leave people behind with us as well, you know, because it's important that everyone gets the availability to contact us, and not just via, you know, the web pages and stuff like that. That's all.
Thank you, Matt. Councillor Hale, Joe?
Yeah, cheers. Just to pick up on what Matthew said, you know, this big rush for digitalisation is, for me, it's not about being smart. It's about saving money. And I just think we need to take a balanced view, because we've still got an awful lot of residents, as Matthew says, that won't enter into doing everything online, and they still want to see people face to face. You've got to be mindful that we don't create some kind of elderly isolation where people still want that face-to-face contact. Go down to Tesco and have a look at how many people will not use the self-service. I won't, because I know it's going to cost jobs. And if we think the employees are stupid, that's the worst thing we could do, because once you start taking the employees for granted and thinking that our residents are stupid as well, and they don't see the impact that it's going to have further along the line, I just think we're maybe building up or storing up some trouble for ourselves, because not everybody likes digitalisation. Not everybody has a mobile phone. I found that out in work, in low-paid areas of the health board. Not everybody has a phone. Not everybody has a computer at home either. So I think we have to have a balanced approach. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chair, and totally take on board the comments and welcome the committee looking at how we interact with our customer base. Certainly the intention is not to go 100% digital. I can't stress that enough. I know that Sarah mentioned community hubs. Actually, the intention is to try and bring access to the council and council services closer to communities through the community hubs, and that will be face-to-face contact. Not only is that a better service for people, especially with the cost of petrol and diesel going through the roof, but also in terms of reducing people's carbon footprint when they're trying to access our services, they can access them within the community. That is the intention. So I just want to give a reassurance, really, that we're not looking at 100% digital, far from it. We're looking for the best customer contact and customer service that we can provide. Digital will be part of that, but not the whole solution.
Councillor Jones? indicating to speak, or is it a legacy hand? Thanks, Matt. Thank you. So that will be added. Okay, thanks, Jet. And then we've got Swansea as a first human rights city. Yes, I think it needs to come here. A bit of work needs to be done. Any contributions? Terry?
When it comes to partnerships and working, with our customers, you call it, I always used to put a mission statement up, which was equality in partnership and equality in the decision-making process that affects our homes, environment, and community where we have chosen to live and raise our families. It's a good mission statement. Whether we'll ever get it to that level, I don't think so. But the more we try to involve our customers, the better. Do make me think when the local authorities throughout Wales have been going all these years and they still have difficulties in consultation, participation, and everything else. We just see what we can do.
Thank you, Terry. Put that on, please. Yeah. And then the last one on this work plan, which is probably more than 3 months' work, is recruitment retention. This is under the workforce strategy, and it's it's going to open up all different agenda items. So it's predominantly where we are with being an employer of choice, an employer that retains the workforce. So it needs to come here. It'll be on the work plan, and it is about how we attract people, how we promote ourselves, and how we entice people to come on board and to apply and to become part of our team. So recruitment, retention under the workforce strategy, and it will sit here on this work plan. Councillor Hale, Joe?
Sorry to hog it, but recruitment and retention, the key for me, and especially in what I do in my day job, is twofold, really. So how do we, for me, it's about union membership, isn't it? But also the wider picture, and it's a fast moving picture, is about how we retain those key workers in those key jobs. And it seems to be that it is at the moment coming down to financial inducements. So I know in the NHS nationally, we have what's called a recruitment and retention premium. So where we can identify high areas of failure to fill vacancies, I think we offer something like a 15-20% bonus. So I'm hoping that the retention element, because I think, if we do all we can to recruit and we do it in the right way, we'll get people coming through the door. But for me, it's how we retain, because when we train people coming in to our organisation, as in the council, there's an awful lot of investment, time and investment that goes into those individuals. And it's galling then to see them leave after that training and that development that's taken place. So for me, a huge element of this work should be about the retention and how we keep people in the workplace. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Joe. And I think for me, it is about probably attracting the best, because we've got some real good people, and I will keep saying it. And through the pandemic, they stood up, they were counted, they were out there standing side by side with our staff and, really standing over and above. So there's a lot that probably could be attracted for different reasons. But I hear what you're saying about the retention. We'll add it to the work plan and we'll work on the policy. Patience?
Thank you, Chair. I think another thing that is important to me in this piece of work is how we embed diversity in with regards to recruitment, especially. Let's not even go to the retention aspect. And the two key examples that I have with this, you know, where there's a challenge is number one with ethnic minority communities, because out there they're saying the council is one of the most difficult organizations to work with in terms of racial diversity. And the second example is from the disability community, where people living with physical disabilities especially complain about the inaccessibility of the building itself for things as simple as meetings, talk less of coming in here to work. So it's probably looking into how we embed that sort of diversity into our recruitment. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Patience. And I think, you know, speaking as a chair, it is about, you know, being all very different, all very equal. And, you know, recruitment and retention should be a fair process. Everybody should be considered fairly and everybody should have that confidence to come forward and apply. And I hear what you're saying. So, you know, it's actually here that it says, particularly with regard to equalities and taking, you know, positive actions. So we'll add it to the work plan and that's our work plan for the next 3 months or so. Any other contributions, guys? Nothing? No? So the next meeting is Tuesday, 27th of September at 1400, possibly here. And I'll be in touch before then, obviously, with the committee members. Okay. Meeting closed. 14:23. Thank you for all your time and take care. Look after yourselves. Thank you.
See you on the picket line tomorrow morning.
Okay, ta-ra, brother.